You probably clicked on this video because you want to get on an executive recruiter's radar. Great, I can help you with that. Hi, I'm Sarah Johnston, and I am the Briefcase Coach. I'm a former corporate recruiter turned job search strategist and executive resume writer, and I help high performers just like you land amazing jobs. So before we get started and before we get really granular in how to get on an executive recruiter's radar, I think it's important that you understand two things. The first is that an executive recruiter doesn't work for you. They work for the organization that they either are employed by or that they are doing this exclusive search for. And so just because you make outreach doesn't mean that they have any obligation to assist you or help you. They're busy. The second thing that I think it's important that you know is that many executive recruiters eat what they kill, which essentially means that they're 100% commission, and that in order for them to make any money, they have to be closing business or they have to be filling roles. And so for that, because of that, their time is extremely valuable and they're only focused on conversations that are going to help them right then. And they may be interested in having a conversation if they can sense that they may have an opening in the future that you would be in alignment for. But a lot of times they get outreach from job seekers and they just can't have a conversation with everyone, and you shouldn't take it personally. The other thing that I think that you need to know is that the executive search is big business. In fact, according to Trends, which is an online journal that I love and that I follow, top search is dominated by 5 players. The 5 giants known as the SHREK firms: Stuart, Heidrick Struggles, Reynolds Associates, Egon, Zehnder, and Korn, Ferry. They dominate executive search. It's a $15 billion business, and these firms made up $5 billion with a B last year. So they aren't playing around. The easiest way to get on an executive recruiter's radar is to get an introduction. And what I mean by this is maybe you have a friend or a former colleague who just got a new job. What I'd suggest you do is you go to that friend and you touch base with them and say, hey, listen, I know that you just got this great new job. Congratulations. I'm personally exploring a job search myself, and I'd love to get your advice. Get them to agree to it. And then at some point in the conversation, say, did you work with any executive recruiters or search firms? And let them tell you their story and who they worked with. And then if appropriate, either wait for them to ask to make an introduction for you, or you can say, do you think it would make sense for me to have a conversation with your connection? An introduction is always a great way to navigate executive search. Another way to navigate executive search is to go the mile yourself and figure out who you would potentially work with if you were working with an executive search firm. So for example, I found the Stuart website online, and on the website, they often have a section for consultants. So click on the consultant space. And let's just hypothetically say that you are a job seeker, an executive based in North America, and you're wanting to look for roles in the CPG space. Maybe you've been in big box retail or consumer product goods for a while. So let's just say we go click here for consumer products, and we found quite a number of people, but look, they're not all based in North America. So you may want to take it and break it down based on location. And there's quite a number of people based in North America. And then you're going to go through this list and read each of these profiles of the individuals here to see who it makes the most sense for you to either get an introduction to or for you to make direct outreach to. So let's start here with Arthur Brown. You're going to read carefully and see what his area of interest is. He's a member of Stuart CEO and private equity marketing and sales office practices. He focuses on CEO succession planning and development. He does searches for CEOs, board of directors, and C-suite executives. And he focuses on packaged goods, the durable sector, and serving big box retailers. So if this is you and you fit this criteria, it may make sense for you to try to have a conversation with someone like Art. Now, Arthur, again, I don't know him, and we're not buddies. I've never met him, but my guess is that he likely has a team that supports him. So even if you made direct outreach to Arthur, you may not talk to Arthur right away. You may talk to a sourcer on his team who may phone screen you or ask to see your resume. So it could be a multi-step process before you could have a conversation with Arthur. The best way to have that initial connection with him is if you can find someone on LinkedIn that knows Arthur, that knows you as well, or someone within your network who's worked with him. That would be the ideal best case scenario. But I recognize that that might not happen. You may not know anyone who knows him. So I'm going to give you a couple of other next steps that you could do. So I'm on LinkedIn and I am searching for Arthur Brown, and then I was typing in Spencer Stuart and I already found him here. So I'm pulling up his LinkedIn profile and it looks like he goes by the name Art. Art, as you can see, is based in South Carolina. And before you reach out to anyone, you should always do some background research to learn a little bit about them and where they've been and their interest. And it looks like he worked for PepsiCo for a number of years. So if you're in the food and beverage industry, that might be a great connection for you. And Art, as I can tell, is active on LinkedIn. And the reason that I know this is you go look at his profile. Under his About section, you'll see activity. And this means that in the last 90 days, he's posted on LinkedIn. So if you were to send him a LinkedIn message or connection request, it's likely that he'll get it because he's active on the website or the platform. So again, the best way to make contact is to see if you can find someone in your network who knows him. If that doesn't work, another option, and recruiters love it when you help them. So if you know that he's working on an opening right now, or if you know that there's someone in your network who could benefit from a conversation with him, maybe you make an introduction to him. Start building that relationship with Art before you need that relationship with Art. So be seen as a helper. That's one great way to build a relationship. But let's say you don't know anybody that needs to talk to Art and you need to talk to him now. The next best thing for you to do if you can't get an introduction is to make direct contact. And you can do that a couple of ways. You can go back to his profile here, send him a thoughtful email through his email address, or you can send him a connection request here and include a message. One way that I would also recommend you building that relationship is to build a relationship through the comments first. It looks like he is actively posting on LinkedIn. In the last 3 weeks, he's posted several times and he's not getting a lot of engagement. So if you were to read one of his posts or one of his articles and write something very thoughtful and interesting that goes along with what he posted, he would probably notice it and see you and then maybe want to click on your profile. So that would be a great way to start that relationship. Be seen first and then send him a thoughtful email, giving him your resume, asking for an introductory call. Going back to that first point that I made at the very beginning of the video, do not get offended if he doesn't accept a meeting with you. It just means that he may not have an opportunity that's a fit for you right now, and he eats what he kills. And so my recommendation would be just to stay on his radar, continue following his posts and his engagement, and look for other opportunities to meet him in the future. I also always say that it's so important not to put all of your eggs in one basket. Try to build relationships with multiple recruiters at different organizations and different entities, because Art could be working on different projects than someone else, maybe at Russell Reynolds or at Egon Zehnder. So focus on multiple relationships. And then lastly, just because they're an executive search firm, it doesn't mean that they necessarily have all the power or all the jobs. You may be able to get an introduction to the CEO or the COO of an organization, and they could be creating a new position 6 months down the road, and you getting on their radar and having a networking meeting with them might make you the first person that comes to mind when that position is available or when they start to talk to candidates. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, I would welcome you following me. I'm new to YouTube and would love to engage with you here. If you have questions, don't hesitate to put them in the comments section. I'll be reviewing questions and we'll be answering questions as time goes by. Thanks for checking this out and have a great day.